Hello, everybody, and welcome to All Dressed Up.
And nowhere to go.
I'm Benny Malone, Artistic Director of the Wonderbolt Circus.
And I'm Anahareo, and I run iFly Aerial Arts, and I'm the co-founder of the St. John's International Circus Fest.
And here we are, all dressed up. I see you got another fabulous dressing night, Anahareo.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Let's just say I love to thrift shop, so that's enough said about this dress, but really it's about these shoes tonight. I bought these shoes the first Circus Fest, and I wore them at Patinoire.
Oh, wow, great show. And what about the tights? They look
Oh
fantastic
yeah, the
too.
tights. I have a little collection
Yeah.
from all around the world, but these ones are really, I have a little German collection from when I lived there, and I still pull them out for special occasions.
That's great. Well, we're here for episode 4. Remember, we're streaming live, so, if you have any questions, go in our chat room and chat us up. We'll try to answer them at the end.
Let us know where you're watching from. Say hi.
A little shout out to Diana Daly in there. And
Marisol, I think I saw earlier, was on. So.
Really glad you could join us. We've had a busy day today. We've just shot a video for the St. John's Day celebrations with Marco and some friends and some artists from the Wonderbolt Circus and the Aerial Arts. Had a great time in Olivia Goodrich's backyard in the blazing sunshine. So stay tuned and watch that this coming Saturday.
And so tonight, I thought for this episode, let's do a little bit of international travel. And we are going to be going to Germany and to Finland. So why don't you tell us about our first guest?
Our first guest is from Finland, one of our favorite countries, and one of our favorite artists. Our next guest is Pauliina Räsänen from Kustavi, Finland. She's been to Newfoundland. She's toured with Wonderbolt. She graduated, I think, just a year before you in
from the National Circus School.
From Montreal. After that, she went on to a glittering circus career with Cirque du Soleil and many other companies. She met her husband, Slava Volkov, on Cirque du Soleil. They have 2 great kids, Saga and Leo. They tour all the cabarets of Europe. They started their own theatre company, Art Teatro, in Finland, well-known company, where Anahareo performed in Cirque Dracula with them. So they also built, get this, they built their own circus school. 2 of them. They're incredibly hard workers. They epitomize the circus ethic. And they have a really flourishing school in rural Finland.
They were at the last festival and performed here. So.
At our last festival and performed here. So, ladies and gentlemen, just an amazing artist, all-around great person. Ladies and gentlemen, Pauliina Räsänen. Pauliina, you look fabulous. Look wonderful.
Well, thank you. As you can see, I'm all dressed up.
Oh, good.
This is like a big celebration for me, so I'm just going to blow a balloon.
Okay. Nice. Don't want to burst your balloon.
I love it. Ooh, it's going to pop.
It's such a long time since, I have been able to get dressed and perform.
Finally out of your pajamas.
So I'm really happy to be here. Let's just take this needle and maybe you need to cover your ears.
We're ready for that.
Pink
Oh,
sparkly.
so ready for that.
Oh, thank you.
I hope you enjoy it.
That's great, Pauliina. Hey, Pauliina, I have a little magic trick too. It's actually just propping up my hat here, but
Oh. Wow. I love rabbits. Unfortunately, it's not so ethical anymore to place rabbits in your acts, but I kind of thought that maybe it would be nice, I could just fluff my skirt and have a few of them flying out.
I think it'd be great.
I love this idea. There's so much time now to think about new ideas, and I can't wait to have a drink of that sparkly with you. The last time, actually, we were together was last September at the Circus Fest.
Right, you've been here a few times, Pauliina, in Newfoundland, touring with us and doing shows and workshops. I mean, you're practically a Newfoundlander, a New Finlander at least. What was one of your best experiences in Newfoundland in your travels with us?
Well, I have a lot of best experiences from Newfoundland.
Oh.
The most important thing for me that has been really and touched my heart is really the warmth of your family and reaching out to your community and being part of the Wonderbolt Circus family. It's not many companies that you actually feel like you are at home. And anyways, I would love to come back. Hopefully when the coronavirus is over and we are free to travel again, even if it's only for a visit or something, I would.
Oh, well, thanks for that, Pauliina. We'd love to have you back. We really
We would.
look
And
forward to it.
speaking of that, I've actually been to Kustavi, been to your sauna, and performed, which was fabulous in Turku.
Yeah.
And I'd have to say the same thing. I love being there with your company and
Yeah.
seeing what a family. I mean, you and Slava worked like
So
harder
hard.
than anyone. I would compare you guys to Starlight, and that's a big compliment because, as we know, there's no one that works harder than the Gassers. So
It's this family circus,
it's a family
traveling
thing.
in the caravans, and
Yeah.
you have to put the tent every day and tear it down. also.
exactly. So I mean, I appreciate that work so much. And then when we went and did the festival, I kept thinking back to you of how amazing it was, Sir Dracula, and you wrote the show, you were in it. I mean, you did everything. It's quite, you know,
It was impressive.
very impressive. So I'm wondering too, I'm asking all my friends from around the world, how has it been in Kustavi for your company? I know you're there in your circus school right now. So how has it been having to put things on hold? Are things starting back? Like what's it look like in Kustavi?
Well, in Kustavi, we are basically looking forward to really open up fully, but I don't think it's going to happen this year because the city is quite small and we rely heavily on the tourism since, you know, we cannot really organize shows in this space, which, you know, we have built. We decided to place a show outside to do this driving circus
Cool.
instead. But instead of playing 15 shows, we will only play 3 shows. So that's quite a bit of difference.
Yeah, it's a big change.
Yeah. And also instead of giving 16 days of workshops, we give 8 days of workshops. So
Yeah,
Big
and so many different regulations. We do camps here too, of course, and we're still trying to figure out if we can even do them because we have a smaller space than you. Your beautiful big space here that you and Slava built, which is amazing.
Yeah.
but it's very hard with the regulations.
It
Well,
is.
it is. And with a
How
2-meter
you can be
distance.
responsible, you know, if somebody gets ill or something, then it will be the fault of
Yeah.
our company, and we obviously don't want that. We want everybody to stay healthy and safe.
Yeah, yeah. So Pauliina, one aspect of you, I mean, you write, you perform, you raise fabulous children, and you build circus spaces. But one thing I love about what you do is circus history. I love your love of circus. I remember when I visited your house in Kustavi, I went up to your library, your circus library, and I have a circus library too, so I was just drawn to it, and really loved it. And something about knowing circus history gives you a whole other appreciation of circus past and present, I think. The show that we were supposed to be doing now tonight was based on a show that came to Newfoundland in 1925. So just wondering, what kind of amazing stories have you come up with in your circus history studies?
Well, there is a lot of amazing stories.
Yeah.
I have mostly researched this 1880s, 1890s history. And what I was really surprised at that the living arts and the performances were so lively, and they had a lot of impact in the female performances. So there was a lot of circus artists, there was female magicians who were touring and making their living with this profession. And many of the tricks, what they have done in the 1880 are still valid today.
Wow.
So we have a big history with that.
Yeah, it's great, eh?
So at that epoch, there was a lot of innovations.
Yeah.
So when the electricity was invented, the people would start to place electric lights into the circus act. So somebody would do a bicycle, and when she would roll her bicycle, the lights would illuminate.
Wow.
So they were very inventive with their apparatuses.
Well, it's
Wow.
interesting because now we're using, with the pandemic, we've got to use more digital and stuff, and we got to innovate that way with the circus. So you just got to keep moving
Love
along.
that. We
Yeah.
are the digital gurus,
I
you know, of
know.
this art form.
Now here we are. I'm going to go back to what we're living right now.
Yeah.
And I know we have to plan digitally into the future. I know that most of the cases, I'm back to the coronavirus here, but most of the cases that I've read about in Finland are in Helsinki. I know Kustavi is a much smaller, but tell us a little bit about the virus and how that is your reality there right now in Finland.
Well, of course, the virus have really affected us a lot. So basically, we were earning some dollars. As you can see, yeah, but you know, they just kind of vanish. And you have to work really hard, so you're kind of like slamming.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then maybe find new ways, you know, how to make your money. So
Yeah.
that's basically what has happened.
That's a good. If you
That's
could,
a big inventive and creative.
And just keep reusing that same money, right?
Pauliina,
just
can you
find-
make that coronavirus disappear?
or get a vaccine for us magically appear?
I guess
I can try.
if we wash our hands, it makes it disappear.
Maybe
so.
money will appear. You'll have to teach me your tricks. So, Pauliina, I know that you prepared a video for us. Actually, we have a couple of little videos. Is there anything you want to tell us about maybe your daughter's training? Because I know I've been seeing some of that on Facebook, and I think one of the videos is from that and a little bit from your school. So do you want to just give us a little briefing on that?
Well, my daughter's wire is all set up behind there right
Oh, yes.
now.
Okay.
Ooh.
She's now at her gymnastics practice. She practices about 5 or 6 hours a day, so that's
Wow.
a lot. But she also has time to do circus, and she has decided that she wants to be a wire dancer. She already
Wow.
told me that will be her
Oh,
profession.
Beautiful.
Oh my heavens, that's fantastic.
Beautiful.
And the funny thing about this wire is that I actually set it up for my son, because I thought that when it's the coronavirus time and we are here rehearsing gymnastics and aerials, then maybe my son can walk on the wire.
Yeah.
But my daughter, she just went on it and she said, you know what, I found my discipline.
Uh-huh.
Wow,
Well, that's awesome.
great. Well, I'm sure like you, she'll have many other disciplines too.
Well, we look forward to seeing your video. Say
Yeah.
hi to your family. Say hi to Slava and the
I will.
kids.
And your wonderful family, and hopefully we'll see you here and in Finland in the future.
Please come. I want to drink that sparkly with you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Pauliina.
Thank you.
Bye. Oh,
And
love
now
it.
here's Pauliina's video.
Ja sirkuskoulussa ulkotreeni korkattu. Slavan ohjauksessa. Akrobatiaa.
4.
Yes. Hyvä.
Kato, kaikki osaat tippua. Sinä puhuit, sinä itse. Rakennetaan uusi mies. Rakennetaan valmiin, mutta sinä se ketä rikkoo. Mutta pitäisi jonkun auttaa sinne. Aika muista.
Oh, that was so good. I
Well,
just keep thinking of like people who are just like, I just need to stay in shape. But I
Yeah.
leave it to Pauliina and Slava and her family to have learned a new discipline. Her daughter is like a tight wire artist.
They're having fun in
just
Finland.
Pauliina, like, of course, doing something new, like walking up. Anyway, it's beautiful.
That's great, hey? They are a terrific family. I remember I saw Pauliina with you in Cirque Dracula.
And I saw Pauliina live in Toronto in Allegria, and that was a beautiful moment.
But my most memorable memory of Pauliina performing was when she first came to Newfoundland. She was going to do Bolt Out of the Blue. She had to get up on stage at Holy Heart Theatre Auditorium and do just one the act for the lighting guys. And they did their hand-to-hand act, Pauliina and Slava, to their music. And I was just in the wings, and it was just mind-blowing. To have them here in Newfoundland, in our show, with this, level of commitment and quality and determination from a premier circus artist, it was a really great moment.
And speaking of great artists and acts, up next we have Carole Demers. She is one of the stars of the Russian bar act called White Crow.
Okay.
They have performed all over the world. They have won every festival they have done. She's a gold medal from Festival de Demain in Paris.
Right.
She's done Monte Carlo. She also holds 2 world records. She does 4 different triple saltos in one act, and she does a triple layout. This girl's incredible.
Wow.
I got to see her live performing in Sukarno, what you're watching right now. She's done varietés in Germany. She has also been in movies like The Greatest Showman, if you can believe it. And in The Greatest Showman, you go back and watch it. She's one of the circus artists bouncing around.
Great.
She has a big CV. She's worked with Cirque du Soleil. She was just on Alegria. She did Zakarna in Las Vegas. She lived in Las Vegas. She's currently living in Germany, where she not only was in Paramour, which is a show in Hamburg, she also was working at Aida Cruise Ship as a personal trainer.
Wow.
And she's our very own coordinator for all the artists.
Yep.
So she's fantastic.
For our
And we've
circus
been
festival.
Yeah. So she is our artistic coordinator.
She is a sweetheart through and through. We love her, Carole.
And we're very happy to have her joining us tonight from Hamburg, Germany, Carole.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi guys.
Hi, Carole.
How
Good
are
to see you.
Good to see you too.
Nice to see you on a talk show because we do a lot of Zooms for the festival together. So it's kind of nice to be in another context, just
Yeah.
having a chat here.
You're all the way in Hamburg. I think you're doing a show there in Hamburg. So far away from Canada. Have you missed Canada since you've been away in Germany and had to stay in Germany for such a long time?
Yeah, I think like I've missed my family and my friends for sure.
Yeah.
We usually go back every 6 months, but now since the Corona, we kind of like stuck here, but
Yeah.
in a good way. I mean, like Hamburg is a good place to be at the moment.
Yeah, Germany's doing pretty well with the pandemic. They got in on it early, and the show you're in was postponed, I guess. Is it going to reopen, Paramour?
That's their plan. So
Yeah.
as of right now, we're receiving weekly reports. They're really trying to put a plan in place to present to the authorities pretty soon as of to reopening the show. So we're just standby and hoping for the best.
Right, right.
Yeah, it's all of it is it's a little bit standby and wait, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So building a patient side of me.
Yeah, I know. It's teaching me especially a lot of patience too, for sure.
You have to give up control a little bit of the situation. We're all control freaks, I think. A lot of circus artists are.
It's true. But me and Carole have been kind of lucky because you've been really with us since the day one of the first festival, since the idea came about.
Yeah.
You were here the last 2 festivals. Actually, Carole has also been in Montreal with me for the last 2 summers as
And helping organize
the
the
main
festival.
person helping organize the festival. But what's been great, even during the pandemic, is that we've spent a lot of time now, working on grants and doing other things. I'm kind of wondering because, like, I know what I love about the festival. Like, I've had some highlights. I'm wondering, how about you? What's your like kind of highlight of being a part of the Circus Fest, and maybe what stood out the most in the last couple of years?
Well, first of all, I will say that I think one of the things I'm so proud of my friend Anna. I mean, I've known you for like 15 years, but every festival, even like at the Complètement Cirque in the summer or whatever, I mean, seeing you in that position, moving mountains to bring a festival in Saint John, it's just like, it's impressive and inspiring, I will say. So that's a part of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
As of for the festival itself, probably like the community in St. John's, and I would say like a bit like Pauliina just said before, the way we feel as a family in St. John's, in your family, and the whole community, because as of right now, like it's not everywhere that you can find this family format type of event. Now everything gets bigger and bigger, and we're losing that. But in St. John's, we still have that, and I think it's very precious at the festival.
And it's so great, Carole, how you dive right in and do every different kind of chore. You know, here you are, an incredible circus star in the circus firmament. But you know, I think you're probably sweeping up floors and selling tickets and selling T-shirts and driving people around. I mean, you just dive right in, and we love that about you.
Yeah. And
I think it's just incredible what you guys are doing right there. And this project is like here in my heart. I just want to give everything that I have.
And you do.
And what I find, like my experience is having people like you on board and having people who are into it the same way I am, that's how it can be a success. And I think Montreal, I started to realize half the reason I wanted to keep planning Montreal is so I could spend a week with you. So it's a bit like the festival. It's like my big motivation. Like sometimes people I think you've asked me, like, where does your drive come from? And my drive comes from you. It comes from people who I want to be with and people who I want to spend time with. And if I'm going to put all this work in, it's to be with these amazing people, you know? Yeah. And we both did Starlight.
Yeah.
We actually met. We bonded quite heavily over Starlight.
Anahareo keeps talking about Starlight because it's a mythical
because
circus.
It just reminds me of that. I mean, imagine the obstacles that they've been through, and they still come out on top, really. They're still going.
Starlight is a family circus out of Switzerland,
out of
run by the Gasser family, and they have a tent and all the chairs. They set it up and put it down.
Yeah.
We visited Anahareo and Carole in Switzerland, me and my wife, Marion. And we came away exhausted just watching you. Not only the show, but after the show. The whole performance from night to day was unending, but it was real circus, real old school circus, which I love.
And I kind of keep feeling like that. I think, who was it last week? Kryn. Kryn was like, once you decide to be a circus artist, you've already chosen to be resilient. You've already chosen a path that you're going to be. And I think this pandemic is huge for the whole circus industry, but I think as a community, and I think that's the feeling you get here in St. John's, but I think circus in general has that feel, and I think even now we're coming together more. Like with On Peace and stuff, you've been on those calls with me where there's like 60 people talking, you know, and so somehow this is going to bring us closer together, and maybe that's going to, you know, maybe there is something good to come out of it. I think there will be. Yeah.
Well, our upcoming festival will be, it's funny because we love bringing people together, but it'll be more global in one sense because people can tune in online. Right. And I know the whole pandemic has changed everyone's schedules and stuff. Your acts take incredible amount of precision and training and practice and discipline and repetition.
Her husband, Philip, is one of the lead characters in their show.
Right.
So that's a lot of pressure to have to keep up at that level to, like, if they say, oh, you're going to open in 2 weeks' time.
So how do you keep your fitness and your training up, Carole?
And motivation, maybe.
Well, right now we were just starting to build a new act, my husband and I, before the pandemic. So when the show closed on March 13, we had to figure out a way to continue. It's a unicycle duo. Like hand to hand on the unicycle, right?
Okay,
cool.
That's what we're working on at the moment. And before we could train at the theater, and it was beautiful. And now we were right after the theater closed, we decided to look around town where we could find a place outside. Yeah. And we found that perfect spot. It's a basketball court. Next to a huge park, so our son can just go and play with friends. He's making new friends every day. And we're training there every morning when it's sunny outside. When it's not, we're doing it in the living room, more like a hand-to-hand, because the unicycle, takes space a bit. Yeah.
Exactly.
But so that's what we're doing right now every day, and it was a good drive to have something to look forward to. So we're like waking up every morning very passionate about like, okay, what we're gonna do today at our training and accomplishing it, and conditioning at home to keep it going. So after, whenever we're going back in the show, I think we will be in a pretty good shape.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I'm sure it will be fabulous.
And I always look up to you as a very positive person and making the most of every situation. Is there something during this pandemic, or, you know, things happen that we had no control over? Is there a lesson that you've learned, or maybe something that you're going to take away and go, actually, this was something positive, even though there's a lot of stuff that I would never want to relive, but maybe, like, for me, I'm loving having more time with my family and kids and, you know, those kind of things. How about you?
Well, same here, to have quality time with my family for sure. But one thing that I learned is I'm not the only one, but I'm kind of I'm a planning person, so I always have this plan A, B, C, D, E for every situation, looking like too far in the future sometimes. And with this pandemic, that was awesome because I couldn't do that at all. I had to stop that mechanism, and it felt good to just really be in the present and take every day, like what's coming from that day. Oh, this was good, this wasn't good, and the next day will come forward. And I mean, it was a good feeling of just learning to get bored and appreciate the time at home, or stuff that I'm not used to do.
And these are, we're all learning lessons that I think we're going to take forward as we
Yeah.
go forward. And maybe it was time to learn a few of those lessons, you know.
Yeah.
We had
And
to
I
have them
think
forced on us.
maybe everyone's going to slow down just a little bit. You know, I always
Yeah.
wanted to say to myself, do 10% less maybe sometimes, you know? And even now, some days I'm just trying to still fit in too much. I'm like, but no, but it really can wait. Like I can finally say that can wait, you know, whereas before I always felt like on a deadline or never enough, you know?
Yeah.
So for sure.
Yeah.
And I know you as well have prepared a little video for us. I can't wait to I can't wait to see it because I, of course, have a special place in my heart for Germany.
Yeah.
Lived in Berlin for 7 years. You've been there with me in Berlin. I've been to Hamburg as well, so I'm super excited to just see a little bit of Germanness.
Yeah.
Anything you want to tell us about it?
Well, it's a little bit of our training here, how we manage to keep going with the situation, and a bit of like images of Hamburg and what we've been
nice.
doing
Oh,
over
great.
here. So.
A little travelogue.
Nice.
Great,
Well,
Carole.
we
So
look
good to
forward-
see you.
Say hi to Phil and Vasco.
Thank you for having
And
me.
like, I'm dreaming of seeing you again in person. So let's hope it's sooner than later. Like, you know,
Okay,
can't wait.
so, everybody-
Thank you so much.
Here's our video from Carole. Bye, Carole.
Bye.
Bye.
I keep asking myself how it came tumbling down, 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 and slunk into place like a puzzle, resolving all my troubles, whirling round.
Oh my God, that was so good. It was so nice to see Germany and just see like Carole and her little family. It's amazing. Kind of like Pauliina, they are so like driven and strong.
Yeah.
And they're not only just getting through the pandemic, they're making new acts. I think Carole even
Thriving.
quoted, I think I'm in the best shape of my life because they're just like working out and doing new stuff all the time. So that was awesome.
Both of them, hey? Both of them. You see the family, you see them working on new stuff, you see them taking the time to, you know, really
And I
grow.
mean,
it.
for so many people, it's an effort to just even like
Get out of
myself
bed.
included. Sometimes of like working out. Like I have a
Yeah.
7-minute workout I do, but it doesn't compare to those ladies. So
That's
that was
great.
awesome.
And some beautiful pictures of Hamburg in the spring. You traveled with Carole to Spain, didn't you? At one
We
point?
had a lovely holiday in Barcelona. What happens in Barcelona stays in
Oh,
Barcelona.
I see. From Sterling, you were vacation.
were on
the,
vacation.
Mythical Sterling Circus.
It's full circle right now.
Yeah.
So let's talk about full circle. We want to thank our behind the scenes people, Marco and Steph,
Yeah.
the whole Wonderbolt crew,
The whole Wonderbolt crew makes this happen every week.
and of course our sponsors of the festival who are fantastic, all those sponsors.
Yep.
And we also want to thank, of course, our guests.
Yep.
So join us next week.
Join us next week. We got two.
Same time, same place.
Same time, same place. Wonderbolt Wednesdays.
And so next week we have a fantastic handstand artist from Montreal. Her name is Marie-Ève Ducal. She was here for both festivals. I saw her perform in Montreal at Épreuve Synthèse. She was my coup de cœur, like my favorite act. So Marie-Ève.
And of course, the person who animated both of our last two festivals with her incredible clown character, the incredible Mookie, our beloved clown and friend.
You won't want to miss it.
You won't want to miss Mookie. We don't want to miss Mookie. We're dying to see her again.
Till then,
tune in.
Stay safe.
Here's that virtual hug. See you next week.
Ciao.